G'day viewers, Chris Atkins here. Welcome back to my channel, The Car Wash Chronicles. In this video, we're just going to talk about leasing a car wash versus buying a car wash, because a lot of people still comment they don't get the difference. I get these comments when I say I'm leasing a car wash, then they'll say, well, why don't you buy it? Wouldn't it be better to buy it? And I don't think they're talking about buying the land. Obviously, buying the land is the best outcome. To own the land outright, have the car wash on the land where you don't have a rent or a mortgage, best outcome, because then you keep 80-90% of the profit and you just pay for your utility bills. So that's the best outcome. 30 years from now, that's where I plan to be. Many car washes paid off and a lot of cash flow every month. When I say I lease a car wash versus buying a car wash, I find these rundown, shut down car washes that are underperforming. The current owner does not care about it anymore. They've had it for 15, 20, 30 years. They're not willing to put any money back into it. It's only making a third or a quarter of what its potential could be, and they've simply just given up. And those are the car washes I like to get. Let me explain a little further. Here's a picture of a closed down car wash. Obviously it's in bad condition. It's closed down. It probably has been for many years. Now, if you get in contact with the landlord, the person who owns the land underneath the car wash, and you talk with them, you negotiate, you make a deal, whether they're looking for a tenant, whether they are or they're not, it doesn't matter. You can convince them, you can negotiate with them that they're not making any money on the property right now. Let me get in there, let me become that car wash tenant. Give me a 15, 20-year lease. I'll build the car wash up, I'll pay you rent, make it the best car wash in the area, and then profit on a monthly basis. Now that is a very likely scenario that I've done many times, and I love that strategy. I love it because it takes very little capital. There's no seller financing, you're not buying the business, there's no banks involved, there's really no financing involved. It's just getting the car wash up and running. So it's going to take some money for the renovation process wherever you decide to get that. I delve further into this information in my course. So if you really want to go down the rabbit hole, go ahead and check it out. But just for a simple video explaining the difference between leasing and buying, you have a very high chance. If that landlord wants to lease that car wash out to you as a tenant because they don't want to run it, they don't want the headache of the day-to-day operations, they don't want to deal with people breaking in, graffiti, they don't want to deal with the equipment breaking down, cars driving off, hoses ripping down, soap not coming out, everything that could go wrong with the car wash, they'd rather sit back, do nothing, and just collect a rent check. So say you negotiate a deal, hey, I'm going to pay you $2,000 rent for this car wash a month. That number was pulled out from behind me. You've signed a 20-year lease. You now control that car wash for 20 years. You put money into it, you get it up and running in a couple of months, and there's no specific dollar amount. So don't text me the question saying, how much does it take to renovate a car wash? It's very different. Depends what equipment is there, depends what the car wash needs, depends how many bays it is. If it's a 3-bay, it's not going to take as much as an 8-bay. So obviously that's common knowledge. But let's throw a number out there. Let's say it's going to take $60,000 to renovate a 5-bay car wash because there's not that much stuff there. You're gonna have to buy the equipment, the labor, and all that stuff to get it up and running. Let's say $60,000. You take that $60,000 wherever you decide to get it from, you buy all the equipment, you put it in, and you have a brand new car wash. If you know what you're doing, you're gonna have the best car wash in the area, which is always my goal, and then you're gonna profit. And you have a brand new self-serve car wash for $60,000. In my opinion, that's a low entry point into the car wash business. Because if you go online and look at the MLS, LoopNet, BizBuySell or whatever, you're gonna see car washes for sale for millions of dollars. And the only reason that is yes, they're probably selling the land with it, but also it's built up, it's doing good, and there's really not much room for improvement. So there's no value add there. So you're basically getting in at the top and you just have to maintain it, and hopefully you get your money back over the next however long you live. But that's not what I like to do. I don't like to go on the MLS. I don't like to look at demographics. I don't like to look at cars driving by. I simply look for rundown, shut down car washes. And that scares a lot of people because, again, I get the comment, well, it's closed for a reason. There's many reasons why it's shut down. A death in the family, mismanagement, the person's had it for 30 years, they don't care about it anymore, it's running to the ground, but it's on a busy road and it's got full potential. So I don't believe in car washes closing down because it's in a bad area. My car washes aren't in the best area, and I'm proud to say they're doing very well because you build the car wash up to be the best and people will come. The customers will come, and not only will they come once, they will be a repeat customer, and that's always the goal. So flat out, straight out to the point, leasing a car wash versus buying a car wash. We're not talking about the land right now. I'm just using these as an example. Leasing the car wash versus buying the car wash, not the land. That's why the key is to find the rundown or shutdown car washes, because you're likely to get that for free. The infrastructure, someone spent hundreds of thousands of dollars many years ago building the structure, getting all the permits from the city, all the underground drainage, that's already done, it's already there. You don't have to spend a cent on that. Versus if there's a car wash and it's built up and it's pretty good and it's making a little bit of money, they're most likely not just going to hand that to you because it's up and running, it's making some money. They're most likely going to want to sell the business for a price, whether that's $50,000, $100,000, $300,000, or $1 million. But they're just going to want to try and sell the business, and that's a much higher entry point into it. Whether you do seller financing, I mean, seller financing is a way to get into it, and it does work if the deal is good, but you're still paying off something over 3, 5, 7, 10 years, whereas with the shutdown, rundown car washes, you don't have that repayment on a purchase price. And again, the car wash that you're actually buying, if you pay $50,000, $100,000, $1 million for that car wash and you're just getting the business, not the land, that's going to come with a lease. You're going to lease that, whether it's 10, 15, 20, 30 years, it's still going to have a lease just like the free car wash does, just like the car wash you're leasing versus buying. So I hope that that clears it up. There's really no difference between leasing a free car wash versus leasing a purchased car wash, except you're handing over a bunch of money, most likely because the car wash is open and it's bringing in some money. But I hope there's room for improvement, and I hope there's a big value add where you can add in something to bring in more customers, keep them in the bays longer, whether that's the pre-soak tire cleaner, make the soap brush much better, add in the air dryers, a couple of more vacuums, whatever you have to do to add value. If there's no room for improvement to add value, make more money, then you're probably going to be paying top dollar for that car wash, where as a closed down one, you don't have to. I'd rather put 60 grand into a closed down car wash versus buying one for $300,000-$400,000, because it's a lot less money, and I don't want to give a car wash owner a whole bunch of money really for nothing. And whether you think it works or not, I've done it 5 times now and it's worked very well for me. I'm very happy with the car wash business. I love the car wash business. So I hope it kind of clears it up a little bit. Now, I didn't talk about buying the land in any of these examples. Buying the land is obviously the best outcome as long as it's for a good price. You get it valued, you don't want to get ripped off. You pay what you feel comfortable with, whether you have the cash laying around and you buy it outright, or you go to the bank or a private investor and you get a mortgage on it. Now, if I get a mortgage on a car wash property like I did in my Barstow one, my biggest concern is not so much the purchase price, but whether the monthly payment is manageable. Now, if I do the calculations and let's say, for example, the repayments are $3,000 a month amortized over 30 years, and if I see that the car wash has potential to make $16,000 to $20,000 a month, then that's a great deal for me. $3,000 going out for the mortgage versus $16,000 or $20,000 in income, all other expenses, of course. That's a great deal. That's what I would do. But if the purchase price is way too high and the mortgage is going to be, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000, and the car wash only has potential to do $16,000 to $18,000 a month, then that's too close. The bills are going to bump it up and you might be breaking even. So it's probably not worth your time. So the purchase price will be too high, the interest rate might be too high, and you might want to walk away from that deal and look for a better one. So I hope all of that makes sense. I hope I clarified a few of the confusions out there. And for those of you who are interested in becoming a self-serve car wash owner, just like myself, then go ahead. I've put together a 13-module step-by-step course. Click the link in the description if you're interested, you want to get it. It's going to tell you exactly how I got mine, from scouting car washes, acquiring them, talking to the landlord, what's a good rate of rent, leases, and then once you do get the car wash, you do make that deal, then how to make it the best car wash in that area, because that's the goal. There's no point running a half-assed car wash. You want to make it the best in the area to be the most profitable you can. So go ahead, click the link in my description, go get that course. I'm Chris Atkins with the Car Wash Chronicles. Thank you for watching.